If you think you know how strong I am, you have no idea how close I came to letting everything go. It's 6:15 a.m. in São Paulo, and the city is already humming with life outside the window of the Meneses apartment. The faint, persistent drone of distant motorcycles and the staccato beeping of a garbage truck reversing on the street below blend with the early morning calls of street vendors hawking fresh pão de queijo. Inside, the apartment is a patchwork of little messes. A pair of pink sneakers abandoned in the hallway, a stack of unfolded laundry on the armrest of the worn sofa, and the remnants of last night's homework on the small dining table. Sofia Meneses stands in the narrow kitchen, her back to the living room, steam curling from the kettle and fogging the window above the sink. Her hair, still damp from a rushed shower, is pulled back in a messy bun. Dark circles shadow her eyes, but her movements are precise. 2 slices of bread into the toaster, a glass of chocolate milk for Beatrice, who sits at the table swinging her legs, and a bowl of cereal for Lucas, whose eyes are still half closed with sleep. Marcelo breezes in, already dressed in a crisp blue shirt and slacks, phone pressed between shoulder and ear. He mouths a silent "thank you" as Sofia slides a mug of coffee toward him. He doesn't notice the way she lingers, watching him, searching for a moment of connection that never quite materializes. "Lucas, finish up. Shoes, backpack, let's go," Sofia calls over her shoulder, voice strained but gentle. Lucas grumbles but obeys, dragging his backpack across the floor. Beatrice, always the morning chatterbox, chatters about her class's planned field trip to the zoo, her cheeks round and bright. Sofia nods along, half listening, her mind already ticking through a mental checklist. Lunches, uniforms, school forms, grocery list, laundry, bills. Marcelo glances at his watch. "I have a 7:30 call. I'll be home late. Don't wait for dinner," he says, grabbing his laptop bag. He kisses Lucas and Beatrice on the head, hesitates by Sofia as if about to say more, then settles for a quick peck on her cheek. His cologne lingers as the front door swings shut behind him. The apartment seems to exhale, settling into a quieter rhythm. Sofia watches Marcelo's retreating figure through the peephole for a moment, then turns back to the chaos of breakfast plates and spilled juice. How is it that a morning can feel so full and so empty at the same time? She wonders, as she shepherds the kids toward the door, Lucas with his untied shoelaces, Beatrice with her purple unicorn backpack. Sofia's phone buzzes. A message from Renata flashes on the screen. "Running late. Can I drop Anna here for 10 min?" Sofia types a quick, "Of course," and opens the door just as Renata arrives, her hair still damp with sweat from a fast walk, her toddler Anna clinging to her leg. Renata flashes Sofia an apologetic smile, one that speaks of exhausted solidarity. "Thank you, Sophie. I swear I'll get the hang of mornings one day," Renata jokes, handing over Anna, who immediately toddles into the living room, drawn by the sight of Beatrice's pile of stuffed animals. Sofia grins, but there's a heaviness behind it. "Don't worry, you're not the only one. This place is a mess already." Renata leans in, lowering her voice. "You look tired. Did you sleep at all?" Sofia shrugs, busying herself with clearing plates. Beatrice had a nightmare, then Lucas wanted water, and Marcelo's alarm went off at 5. "You know how it is?" Renata nods, her own eyes betraying fatigue. "You're a superhero, Sophie. I don't know how you do it." Before Sofia can reply, the neighbor's door creaks open across the hall. Donna Clarice emerges, her silver hair pulled into a neat braid, glasses perched on the tip of her nose. She waves, her voice carrying easily across the corridor. "Bom dia, meninas! Off to the school rush again?" Sofia musters a smile. "Every day, Donna Clarice." Donna Clarice gives a knowing look, her gaze sweeping over the children, then settling on Sofia. "You're lucky, Sofia. Must be nice to just stay at home and take care of the little ones, eh?" The words sting, though Sofia tries to let them roll off her back. She forces a polite smile. "Yes, I'm very lucky." Renata catches Sofia's eye, a flicker of understanding passing between them. As Sofia hustles the kids down the hall, Renata whispers, "If only she knew." Outside, the city's energy swells. The air hangs heavy with humidity, the promise of rain lingering in the gray clouds above. Cars honk in rhythmic bursts, and the scent of brewing coffee and fresh bread drifts from the bakery on the corner. The playground by the gate is already alive with noise. Toddlers squealing, mothers gossiping, the clank of metal as someone swings too high. Sofia walks quickly, Beatrice's small hand nestled in hers, Lucas lagging behind as he kicks a pebble along the sidewalk. Renata catches up, pushing Anna in a stroller, her voice low. I had a fight with João last night. He thinks I'm not spending enough time with Anna, but my boss wants me to take on extra shifts. Sometimes it feels like I'm failing everywhere. Sofia nods, the words hitting close to home. It's never enough, is it? No matter what you do. They reach the school gates where the usual crowd of parents and children mills about. Sofia bends to hug Lucas, smoothing his hair with a practiced hand. Have a good day, meu amor. Listen to your teacher, okay? Lucas grins, already scanning the playground for friends. Beatrice tugs at Sofia's shirt. Will you pick me up early today, Mama? Sofia smiles, masking the uncertainty in her chest. I'll try, querida. I'll do my best. As the children disappear into the school, Sofia lingers at the gate, watching them merge into the sea of uniforms and backpacks. The sense of invisibility presses in, a strange ache, as if her presence is fading into the background of everyone else's stories. Renata squeezes her arm. Want to grab a coffee before you start your day? Sofia hesitates, glancing at her watch. Her mind races through her to-do list. Groceries, cleaning, bills, the endless cycle of tasks that repeat day after day, rarely noticed or appreciated. I can't. I have so much to do before lunchtime. Renata nods. Call me if you need to talk, okay? I mean it. Sofia watches her friend walk away, feeling the pang of longing for adult conversation, for someone to see her beyond the role of mother and wife. Rain starts to fall in a light drizzle, dotting the pavement and cooling the already sticky air. Sofia pulls her jacket tighter and starts the walk back home, the city's pulse steady but indifferent. Inside the apartment, the quiet feels oppressive. Sofia stands in the doorway for a moment, listening to the distant hum of traffic and the muffled sounds of a neighbor's TV through the wall. The kitchen clock ticks loudly, each second marking the start of another cycle. Dishes, laundry, dusting, meal prep. She moves through the morning on autopilot, her hands scrubbing plates, folding towels, sorting socks that never seem to have a pair. Her phone buzzes, a reminder to pay the electricity bill, a group message from the class moms about an upcoming bake sale, an ad for a meal delivery service she briefly considers before guiltily dismissing. As she wipes down the kitchen counters, Sofia's mind drifts. She thinks of the version of herself she once imagined, a career, independence, maybe even travel. Instead, she's here, invisible to the people she loves most, her efforts absorbed into the fabric of their daily lives without acknowledgement. A knock at the door startles her. She dries her hands on a dish towel and opens the door to Dona Clarice, who holds a small plate of homemade biscuits. I baked too many, the older woman says, pressing the plate into Sofia's hands. You work so hard, Sofia. I see you, you know. Sofia manages a grateful smile, her eyes stinging. Thank you, Dona Clarice. That's very kind. Dona Clarice reaches out, squeezing Sofia's hand. Don't forget to take care of yourself, querida. Even the strongest need rest. As the door closes, Sofia leans for a moment against it, her heart aching with the weight of unspoken exhaustion. She sits at the table staring at the biscuits, the silence pressing in. The apartment is filled with the clutter of family life, crayon drawings taped to the fridge, a chipped mug on the counter, the distant sound of a neighbor's radio playing a samba tune. Yet Sofia feels alone, unseen, her own needs buried beneath the needs of everyone else. She picks up her phone, staring at the lock screen. A picture of Lucas and Beatrice, all wide grins and sticky cheeks. Her thumb hovers over Renata's name, but she can't bring herself to call. Who would want to listen to me complain anyway? She thinks. Outside, the rain intensifies, drumming against the window. Sofia stands and moves to the living room, sinking into the sofa, the laundry pile pressing against her side. She lets her head fall back, eyes closed, listening to the heartbeat of the city and the echo of Dona Clarice's words. How many women feel this way? She wonders, a lump rising in her throat. How many keep going, day after day, feeling invisible, hoping someone will notice before they disappear completely? She opens her eyes and looks straight into the camera, her expression raw, vulnerable. Have you ever felt invisible in your own home? The days began to blend, indistinguishable from one another, as Sofia moved through them in a kind of practiced autopilot. The sun filtered through the sheer curtains of the Menasse's apartment each morning, dappling the breakfast table in golden light, but Sofia hardly noticed anymore. The clatter of dishes, the sticky fingerprints on the refrigerator, the endless procession of tiny socks and juice cups, everything felt like part of an elaborate, invisible dance that only she seemed to know the steps to. After the morning rush, with Lucas and Beatrice safely at school, the apartment fell quiet, except for the faint sounds of the city wafting in from the street below. Horns blaring, footsteps echoing on the tiled hallways, a neighbor's laugh carrying through an open window. Sophia stood in the middle of the living room, still in her faded pajamas, staring at a pile of laundry that seemed to have doubled overnight. She sighed, picking up Beatrice's favorite unicorn shirt and pressing it to her face, inhaling the faint scent of strawberry shampoo and playground dust. Marcelo's voice lingered in her mind, clipped and distracted from that morning. "I'll be late again today, Sophie. Big presentation. Can you handle the kids' dinner?" He hadn't looked up from his phone, already checking emails as he slipped on his shoes. She'd nodded, as always, even though her heart ached for more. More attention, more partnership, more of the man who once made her laugh so hard she snorted coffee through her nose. The silence was broken by a sharp knock. Sophia opened the door to find Renata, her childhood friend, balancing a lunchbox in one hand and her daughter's small backpack in the other. Renata's tailored blouse was slightly wrinkled, her hair hurriedly pulled back, but her eyes sparkled with familiar warmth. "Oi, Sophie, can I leave Bruna with you for an hour? I have a client call and my sitter canceled." Renata's words tumbled out in a rush. "Of course, she can play with Beatrice's dolls," Sophia replied, managing a smile. Renata lingered at the door, her gaze softening. "You look tired. Is everything okay?" Sophia hesitated, but the words caught in her throat. "Just the usual. Laundry, dishes, chasing after everyone." Renata nodded with understanding, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Sometimes I dream of a day with nothing to do, but when I have one, I feel guilty, like I'm wasting time." Sophia's laughter was tinged with melancholy. "When I do nothing, I feel guilty too. But when I do everything, no one notices." Renata squeezed her hand. "We need a vacation, or at least a coffee that stays hot longer than 5 minutes." As Renata hurried away, Sophia watched her disappear down the corridor, her heels clicking against the tile. She closed the door, feeling the weight of her friend's words. Even those who seemed to have it together struggled, she thought. Maybe it wasn't just her. She steeled herself for the day ahead. The hours unfolded in a blur of chores, scrubbing countertops, folding miniature jeans, running a quick vacuum before heading out for groceries. The supermarket was bustling, the air thick with the scent of fresh bread and the low hum of conversation. Sophia navigated the aisles with practiced efficiency, but her mind wandered as she grabbed fruit and compared prices on cleaning supplies. She caught sight of her reflection in the freezer door. Hair hastily tied back, dark circles under her eyes, a smudge of Beatrice's jam on her sleeve. She barely recognized herself. At the checkout, the cashier, a young woman with bright purple nail polish, offered a kind smile. "You look like you've had a long day." Sophia smiled back, warmth tinged with embarrassment. "It's only noon." Back home, she unpacked groceries while answering a barrage of WhatsApp messages from the school parents group. A reminder popped up. "Lucas, parent-teacher meeting 18H. She made a mental note, then promptly lost it amid the chorus of "Mom" from the bedroom. By late afternoon, the apartment pulsed with energy again. Beatrice and Bruna played dress-up, giggling as they paraded through the hall in mismatched shoes. Lucas sprawled on the living room rug, pencil gripped in his fist, tongue sticking out in concentration as he worked through math homework. Sophia knelt beside him. "Need help with this one?" He hesitated, then shook his head. "No, I can try." He pressed on, determined, and Sophia felt a fleeting pang of pride and fear. How much of his resilience came from her, and how much from his own need to manage without her constant presence? Her phone buzzed. A message from Marcelo. "Running late? Don't wait for me for dinner. Sorry." She stared at the screen, the words blurring. Sorry. It felt emptier every time. As dusk settled in, the apartment glowed in the gentle orange of São Paulo's city lights. The children's laughter faded into the background as Sofia tidied up, her mind heavy with worries she hadn't voiced. She thought about the meeting for Lucas, the one she'd promised herself she wouldn't forget. She glanced at the clock. 19:10. Her heart dropped. The meeting. She scrambled for her phone, scrolling through missed calls and unread messages. There it was. A reminder from the school secretary and a message from Marcelo. Did you go to Lucas's meeting? Panic flared. She dialed Marcelo, her hands trembling. He picked up, his voice weary. Sofia, did you make it? She swallowed, shame burning her cheeks. Marcelo, I'm so sorry. I lost track of time. The girls were here. Lucas had homework. He sighed. Not angry, but disappointed. I get it. Work's been insane. I just hoped you'd handle this one. The silence stretched between them, thick as the São Paulo humidity. Sofia clutched the phone, searching for words. I know I messed up. It's a lot, Marcelo. I'm trying. I know you are, he said quietly, but his tone sounded distant. We'll talk later. She hung up, feeling the familiar ache of guilt settle in her chest. She wanted to scream, to cry, to run down the hallway and out into the city. Anywhere but here, where her failures echoed in every corner. Instead, she set out plates for dinner, the clink of porcelain unnaturally loud in the stillness. Lucas ate quietly, eyes fixed on his food. Beatrice chattered about her day, waving a crayon-stained hand in the air. Sofia nodded, smiled when expected, but her mind raced with all the things left undone. After the children were in bed, Sofia sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at a mug of untouched chamomile tea. Outside, the city pulsed with life. Laughter from the neighbors, the distant thump of music, the rhythmic whoosh of passing buses. She felt impossibly alone in the midst of it all. A gentle knock startled her. Sofia opened the door to find Dona Clarice, her elderly neighbor, standing in the hallway with a plate of freshly baked pão de mel. Boa noite, querida. I thought you might need something sweet after a long day. Sofia managed a weak smile, accepting the plate. Thank you, Dona Clarice. You always know. Dona Clarice stepped inside, her eyes kind but sharp. She glanced around the modest apartment, taking in the stray toys and folded laundry. When my children were small, I used to think the world would end if I missed something. A recital, a meeting, a scraped knee. But I learned, sometimes you need to forgive yourself. You're only one person. Sofia's eyes stung. How did you do it? Keep everything together. Dona Clarice chuckled softly, her voice soothing. I didn't, Sofia. That's the secret. Nobody does. We just do our best, and we ask for help when we need it. It took me too long to learn that. Sofia blinked back tears, the lump in her throat loosening a bit. I feel like I'm failing. I missed Lucas's meeting. Marcelo's upset. The kids, they need so much. Dona Clarice squeezed her hand. Your children need your love, not your perfection. And so does Marcelo, even if he forgets to say it. They sat together in the quiet, sharing pão de mel and memories until the city quieted down for the night. When Dona Clarice finally rose to leave, Sofia felt a little lighter, not fixed, not finished, but a touch less alone. Later, Marcelo arrived home, moving quietly so as not to wake the children. He glanced at Sofia, his expression tired, his briefcase hanging like a weight from his arm. I'm sorry about earlier, he said, voice low. I know things have been hard. Sofia nodded, but the words she wanted to say, the storm of exhaustion, the longing for gratitude, the fear that she was disappearing, remained trapped inside. Instead, she offered a small, uncertain smile, and together they settled into a silence that felt a little less hostile, but no less heavy. That night, as Sofia lay awake, she stared at the ceiling, listening to the city's lullaby. She wondered if anyone truly saw her, the real her, beneath the layers of responsibilities and expectations. She wondered if Marcelo remembered the woman she used to be, before life became a series of checklists and compromises. And she wondered, not for the first time, how much longer she could keep moving without falling apart. If you find yourself in Sofia's story, juggling, worrying, loving, and sometimes losing track of yourself, you're not alone. For more real stories that matter, subscribe to our channel and join a community that understands what you're going through. The day starts heavy, as if even the sunlight hesitates to enter the menace's apartment. Sofia wakes to the sound of Beatrice's soft whimpering in her bedroom. She's lost her favorite stuffed rabbit again. Sofia's eyes sting from lack of sleep. her body weighed down by the ache of another restless night spent replaying yesterday's mistakes and tomorrow's obligations. She slips quietly from bed, careful not to wake Marcelo, who sprawls across his side, phone face down on the nightstand, alarm set for a meeting she's already heard him mention 3 times. In the kitchen, the coffee brews, filling the air with a scent that has long since lost its magic. Lucas bursts in, already dressed, shoes untied, hair mussed. "Mom, I can't find my math notebook," he calls, voice edged with panic. Sofia's hands tremble as she pours his milk. "Did you check your backpack, querido?" she asks, forcing calm, but her chest is tight. Beatriz appears clutching the rabbit, eyes wide and hopeful. "You're coming to my show today, right, Mommy?" Her voice is small, almost pleading, and Sofia feels a sharp pang of guilt. She kneels, smoothing Beatriz's hair. "Of course," she says, pressing a quick kiss to her daughter's forehead. "I promised, remember?" The morning is a blur of half-finished chores and hurried goodbyes. Marcelo grabs his travel mug, glances at his phone, then at Sofia. "I'll try to be home earlier tonight," he says, but his tone is distracted. "Good luck today." He kisses the top of her head, already half out the door. Sofia watches him go, a ghost of resentment flickering beneath her exhaustion. The minutes slip away as Sofia packs lunches, finds Lucas's notebook wedged behind a chair, and double-checks the time of Beatriz's performance, 4 p.m. at the preschool. She sets a reminder in her phone, then immediately doubts herself. Did she really promise? Or did she just want to believe she could do everything, be everything, for everyone? Outside, the city pulses with energy she can't seem to access. The elevator is crowded with neighbors. Dona Clarice, cheerful in a floral blouse, asks about the children. A young mother with twins juggles diaper bags in sympathy. In the supermarket, Sofia navigates crowded aisles, crossing items off her list, mind drifting to the growing stack of bills on the kitchen counter. She lingers by the produce, staring through the misted glass, wondering how many more days she can keep up this pace. By noon, she is back home, groceries unpacked, a load of laundry spinning, and Beatriz painting quietly at the table. Lucas is at a friend's house. Sofia sits for a moment, letting herself breathe. She scrolls through her phone, messages from the school group, reminders about vaccinations, an unread text from Renata. "Call me if you need anything, okay?" Sofia types a quick reply. "All good, thanks," and puts the phone down, her stomach twisting. "All good." The lie is almost comforting in its familiarity. She checks the clock. 2:30 p.m. Still time. She starts prepping dinner, chopping onions, the sting bringing tears to her eyes. The apartment feels smaller, the walls closer. She can hear the neighbor's television, a dog barking below, the distant trill of a phone ringing in another home. She glances at her own phone again, fighting the urge to check the time for the 100th time. At 3:45 p.m., she realizes she's lost track of time. Panic seizes her chest. She wipes her hands, grabs Beatrice's little cardigan, and calls, "Time to go, princesa!" But Beatrice is nowhere to be found. The apartment suddenly feels like a maze. Frantic, Sofia searches each room, bathroom, bedrooms, even the balcony. Finally, she finds Beatrice under her bed, clutching her rabbit, eyes bright with excitement. "I'm ready, Mommy!" They rush downstairs, Sofia's heart pounding. The elevator takes an eternity. Outside, the streets are thick with traffic. An ambulance wails in the distance. She glances at her phone. 3:58 p.m. The preschool is only 3 blocks away, but each red light feels like an accusation. By the time they arrive, Beatrice's class is already on stage, singing in their tiny, high-pitched voices. The teachers stand at the back, parents snapping photos, clapping. Sofia squeezes into the crowded doorway, searching for her daughter. But Beatrice isn't singing. She's standing at the edge of the group, scanning the crowd, her small face crumpling. She spots Sofia and her eyes fill with tears, the song faltering on her lips. The performance ends. Children rush to their parents. Beatrice stands frozen, shoulders shaking. Sofia pushes through the crowd, gathering Beatrice into her arms. "I'm so sorry, meu amor." "I'm here now," she whispers, but the words sound empty. Too late. Beatrice's disappointment is a weight that Sofia cannot shift. On the walk home, Beatrice is quiet, clutching Sofia's hand, rabbit trailing on the sidewalk. The city's noise seems sharper. Every car horn and shouted greeting a reminder of how much she's missed, how much she's always missing. Back at the apartment, Lucas returns, chattering about his day. Marcelo calls. He'll be home late, again. Dinner is a silent affair. Beatrice picks at her food, Lucas sulks over homework, and Sofia feels the walls closing in. The apartment is lit with the golden glow of early evening, but inside, everything feels dim. When Marcelo finally walks in, it's nearly 9 p.m. He sets his laptop bag by the door and sighs, loosening his tie. "Sorry," he says, barely glancing at Sofia. He heads straight for the fridge, pours himself a glass of water, and stands there, back turned. Sofia can't hold it in any longer. "We need to talk," she says, voice trembling. Marcelo turns, surprised. "Now? I just got home." "Yes, now, please." Her words are soft, but the urgency is unmistakable. He sits at the table, rubbing his temples. "What's going on?" She sits across from him, hands twisting in her lap. The silence stretches. For a moment, she wonders if she should say anything at all. But the image of Beatrice's face at the performance pushes her forward. "I forgot Beatrice's show today. I promised her I'd be there. And I was late. She was heartbroken." Her voice cracks. "I let her down. I let myself down, and I feel like I'm letting everyone down, all the time." Marcelo looks at her, confusion flickering across his features. "Sofia, you do so much. You're home with the kids, you run this place." She shakes her head, tears stinging her eyes. "You don't see it, Marcelo. I'm always here, but I feel invisible. I'm exhausted. Every day is the same. Laundry, cooking, homework, groceries, and no one notices unless something goes wrong. I miss adult conversations. I miss myself." Marcelo's defensiveness surfaces. "You think I have it easy? My job is stressful, Sofia. I'm always worried about money, about keeping things together." "I know," she interrupts, voice rising. "But when do we talk about that? When do you ask how I'm feeling? When do I get to say I'm not okay and have you really listen?" He's silent, guilt settling over him. The fridge hums in the background. Sofia continues, her confession spilling out, raw and unfiltered. "Today, standing in that crowd, watching Beatrice look for me, I realized how close I am to giving up, Marcelo. Not leaving, not running away, just giving up inside, becoming someone who goes through the motions, who doesn't care anymore. I don't want that for me, for our kids, for us." Marcelo's face softens. He sets down his glass, leaning forward. "I had no idea it was this bad. I'm sorry, Sofia. I should have noticed. I thought you were okay." She shakes her head, wiping her eyes. "I'm not, but I want to be. I want things to change. I can't do this alone. I need help, even if it's just you asking how I am, or listening when I need to talk. I need to feel like what I do matters." There is a long silence. Marcelo reaches across the table, his hand covering hers. "You matter, Sofia. You matter so much. I've been selfish, too focused on work, on providing, and not enough on us. I want to help. I want things to be better." The tension breaks, replaced by the tentative beginnings of understanding. Sofia takes a shaky breath, the weight on her chest easing just a little. Later, after the kids are asleep, Renata calls. Sofia almost ignores it, but answers on the second ring. "Hey, amiga," Renata says, her voice warm, tired. "Rough day?" Sofia sighs, the exhaustion in her bones matching the fatigue in Renata's voice. "You have no idea." Renata chuckles softly. "Actually, I might. I yelled at Mateus for spilling juice on my work laptop. I cried in the bathroom for 10 minutes. You're not alone, Sophie. None of us are." For a moment, neither speaks. The city's nighttime sounds drift through the open window. Distant laughter, a motorcycle, the gentle hum of São Paulo never really sleeping. Sofia lets herself relax, the pressure inside her chest loosening. "Thank you, Ray. I needed to hear that." "You can call me any time," Renata says. "And if you ever want to run away, I'll bring the chocolate." Sofia laughs, the sound surprising her. Deal. She hangs up and sits by the window, looking out at the city lights. The apartment is quiet, Marcelo in the kids' room, tucking them in. For the first time in months, Sofia feels a flicker of hope. She whispers to herself, "They never knew how close I was to giving up." And yet, something inside her has shifted. She's spoken her truth. She's not invisible. Not anymore. The path ahead won't be easy, but for the first time, Sofia believes she can walk it. Not alone, not silent, but seen and heard. The sun slanted through the blinds, casting golden stripes across the kitchen table where Sofia sat, her hands wrapped around a mug of chamomile tea. The apartment was quiet, a rare moment. Marcelo had taken the children to the playground downstairs, giving her a brief, almost unfamiliar hush. She could hear the faint echoes of laughter drifting up from below, the playful shrieks of Beatriz and Lucas carried through the open balcony door, mingling with the distant hum of São Paulo traffic. It was the first morning in weeks that Sofia had allowed herself to simply sit. No to-do list pressed urgently against her mind. No guilt, for once, about what wasn't getting done. The night before still lingered in her thoughts, the raw, honest conversation with Marcelo replaying in fragile detail. She remembered the look in his eyes. Not defensive this time, but searching, vulnerable. He'd listened, truly listened, as she spoke of exhaustion, of loneliness, of how invisible she had felt. "I don't want to disappear in my own life," she had told him, voice trembling but steady. "I love this family, but I need to feel like I exist too." Marcelo had reached for her hand across the table. "I had no idea, Sofia," he said quietly. "I'm sorry I haven't been here. Not really. I thought I was doing my part by working hard, but I see now how much I've been missing, how much we've both been missing." They'd sat together in silence after that, the weight in the air shifting from accusation to understanding. It was the most connected she'd felt to him in months. Now, as she traced the rim of her mug, Sofia thought about what had changed. It wasn't that the responsibilities had vanished. The apartment was still cluttered, the bills still needed paying, the children still needed her. But something inside her had shifted. A gentle knock at the door broke her reverie. Renata stepped in, holding a small plastic container. "I made too much bolo de cenoura," her friend announced, setting it on the counter with a wink. "And I figured you could use a piece?" Sofia smiled, a real smile, not the automatic one she'd worn for so long. "Thank you. Come, sit with me." They moved to the tiny balcony, wedged between potted basil and a sun-faded soccer ball. For a moment, they watched Lucas and Beatrice chasing each other around the swings, their laughter rising above the city's din. "Last night, I finally told Marcelo everything," Sofia confessed, voice soft. "I was so scared, but it was like, once I said it out loud, I could breathe again." Renata squeezed her arm. "You did the hardest part, amiga. You let yourself be seen." Sofia nodded. "I realized I don't have to do this alone, and I don't have to be perfect either." Downstairs, Beatrice waved excitedly. "Maman, look at me!" She was balancing on one foot atop the jungle gym, her face a portrait of sheer determination. Sofia leaned over the railing, her voice warm and steady. "I see you, meu amor. You're amazing." It struck her then, the power in those words. "I see you," the very thing she'd been craving, now passed on to her daughter. Later that afternoon, Marcelo returned from the playground with the kids. Cheeks flushed and hair tousled, he set down the shopping bag he'd carried, groceries, and, to Sofia's surprise, a small bouquet of wildflowers. "For you," he said, slightly sheepish. "Just because." She took the flowers, her eyes misting. "Thank you." Marcelo knelt to help Lucas with his sneakers. "I was thinking, maybe we can talk tonight after the kids go to bed, about how we can make things feel more balanced. I want to help more. Maybe we could make a schedule or—" Sofia touched his arm gently. "Let's talk, yes. But thank you for asking. That means more than you know." The day unfolded with small, significant changes. Marcelo took over bath time, turning it into a bubbly, giggling mess that left the bathroom soaked, but the children delighted. Sofia watched from the hallway, feeling a weight lift as she realized she didn't have to orchestrate every detail for her family to be happy. After dinner, she called Dona Clarice, who had left a voicemail earlier. "Oi, Sofia. I just wanted to check in, querida." Remember, even the strongest people need to rest. Sofia smiled as she dialed back. "Dona Clarice, thank you for your message. You were right. I needed help. and I asked for it. That's the bravest thing you can do," the older woman replied. "And now, you'll see. Everything changes. Slowly, but it does." With the children tucked into bed, Sofia sat with Marcelo at the kitchen table. They began mapping out a new routine: shared chores, dedicated family time on weekends, and, most importantly, an hour each week just for themselves as a couple. Marcelo suggested Sofia take up a yoga class she'd mentioned, and she agreed, hesitantly at first, then with growing excitement. Some weeks later, Sofia found herself running late for the yoga class, mat under her arm, heart pounding with anticipation rather than anxiety. As she settled onto the mat, surrounded by women from all walks of life, she felt a sense of belonging. She wasn't just Lucas and Beatrice's mother or Marcelo's wife. She was Sofia, her own person too. After class, she lingered at a cafe with new acquaintances, sharing stories of motherhood, work, and dreams deferred. She laughed, a genuine belly-deep laugh that startled her with its brightness. Back home that evening, Beatrice greeted her with a drawing. "It's you, Mama! You're happy!" Sofia knelt studying the crayon portrait, arms wide, hair flying, a sun shining overhead. She hugged her daughter, overcome with gratitude. "Thank you, meu amor. I am happy." In the months that followed, the Medicis apartment remained lively and, at times, chaotic. There were still tough days. Mornings when the alarm felt too early, evenings when tempers frayed. But the difference was profound. Sofia no longer carried the burden alone. Marcelo was present, engaged. The children sensed the shift, growing more independent and affectionate. Renata remained her confidant, their friendship deepening as they carved out time for one another, even if just for a quick coffee or a shared walk around the block. Dona Clarice, ever the wise neighbor, stopped by with fresh bread or a listening ear, reminding Sofia that community matters as much as family. One evening, as the family sat together after dinner, Marcelo reading aloud, Beatrice curled in Sofia's lap, Lucas building towers of blocks, Sofia gazed around the room. The apartment buzzed with life, imperfections, and all. She felt seen, valued, and, for the first time in a long while, whole. She realized that asking for help was not a weakness, but a gift, to herself and to those who loved her. By sharing her struggles, she'd opened the door for deeper connection, understanding, and joy. As the camera lingers on Sofia's gentle smile, the light of the city twinkling through the window behind her, she looks directly to us, the viewers. Maybe you're watching this and you felt like I did, overwhelmed, invisible, on the verge of giving up. If you have, please know you're not alone. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is reach out, speak up, and let others in. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to need time for yourself. She pauses, her eyes full of warmth and hope. I'd love to hear your experiences. Have you ever felt unseen in your own home or found the courage to ask for what you need? Share your story in the comments below. I promise someone else needs to hear it. If this story touched you, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next chapter in our journey together. We're building a community here, one where no one has to feel invisible again. The screen fades to the glow of the São Paulo skyline, the laughter of children echoing softly, and the promise of new beginnings brightening the night. Because sometimes the bravest confession is simply this: I'm still here, and I matter.